So virtually overnight, we've had Elon Musk saying that Nigel Farage is not fit to lead the Reform Party, and maybe he's looked into what the party actually is. You know, a limited company that Farage has constantly promised to democratise, but never actually has got round to. They haven't got members; they've got subscribers that are called members. And you know my thoughts on reform. But that said, if they were the only party I could vote for that had a realistic chance of beating the Uni Party, beating the Tories, the Labour, and the Liberal Democrats, or in Scotland the SNP, I would vote for Reform as the best of a bad bunch again. Now, that seems to be all we ever get, because the smaller parties with genuine people don't get the exposure. They haven't got the budgets. They haven't got the backing of, ironically enough, World Economic Forum backed hedge fund managers like all the big parties have in the UK. So what do I make of it all? Well, Elon Musk seems to have... Is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. He's obviously into electric cars. He's obviously into putting satellite networks up right around the world that could potentially be used to monitor you or me, which is a worry. So, what's his stance on Farage? Is he really such a Tommy Robinson fan? Is he really such an admirer of his work that he's prepared to speak out on his behalf? Well, you'd like to think so, wouldn't you? Whether you're a Tommy Robinson fan or not, I wouldn't say I was a fan, but I do acknowledge the fact that if he hadn't have marched loads of football supporters through towns like Luton and other places, although potentially causing civil unrest, that was the only way really that anyone was going to stand up and take notice of predominantly Asian grooming gangs in the areas where he marched, because we know that the police were disgusting. The police turned victims away. The police even arrested family members of the victims so they wouldn't have to actually deal with a problem, which are predominantly Asian Muslim grooming gangs full of filthy pigs, perverts, who you would think, I don't know, are a disgrace to their religion and their families. Although, funnily enough, the families were there in court supporting them, blaming the predominantly white girls, Sikh girls and Hindu girls who were being raped. Forget grooming, and they were being raped and tortured in such disgusting manners that we know now from the court files. So without Tommy Robinson, I doubt, because an MP tried, I'm trying to think of her name now, and she was up in one of those northern towns, can't remember her name now, but she came out, she was racist overnight. Someone who'd been left all her life, someone that had really worked hard for her community. She was just slandered overnight. So when someone respecting their community like that can be called right wing and can be absolutely hammered down for trying to raise awareness of rape, then a working class wide boy really from Luton, who sees these things going on around him, who then decides to do something about it, how easy is it to put him in a far right box? I've never been able to find anything racist that Tommy Robinson has said. He's pointed out certain things in Islam that aren't very nice, the same as the Bible's got some things that aren't very nice in the Old Testament. And he's pointed out the fact that some of their male members of the community are dirty, disgusting, perverted pigs who should be behind bars for life. And there are white, dirty, disgusting pigs as well who should be behind bars for life. Some of them probably in Parliament, and some of them probably in the monarchy. If history tells us anything, it's that's the case. And I think the only reason that we're hearing all this on the TV about the grooming gangs now is to cause civil unrest. Have you noticed that they want digital ID? Well, what about a nice civil war with the Islamic minority in this country who don't want to abide by British laws, who don't like our culture and who actually hate us? How about getting them to go to war with our football fans, our working class community who don't really like their daughters and granddaughters being raped? How about causing friction between those two? I think this is what this is all about, because otherwise the people who hid these disgusting acts and protected these perverts and pigs, they would never let this come out. They're too powerful. They've got the police, they've got the judges. They're criminals. The criminals in Parliament, the criminals in the monarchy. They're criminals. They would never ever have let this come out if it wasn't for a reason. Now, back to Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk. One would like to think that Elon Musk is such a purist, such a humanitarian person, that he's doing this for all good reasons. But I think a guy that doesn't mind kiddies dying mining electric batteries, a guy that, as I say, wants to put chips in people's brains, whether to cure them or not, whether a guy that puts up a satellite network that can potentially put us all into tyranny, is he a good guy? Or is he a Bond villain? I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because it's all a pantomime, isn't it? All a pantomime to hide the truth. Is Farage one of the good guys? And Elon's one of the bad guys? I don't think we'll ever know, will we? Could Nigel be too much of a wild card for the elites? For those WEF hedge fund managers who donated to his party? Are they scared he won't play the game? All makes me wonder what's going on. I don't know. It's an absolute quagmire. What I do know though is that Starmer was head of the CPS at a time when the grooming gangs were discounted and when Asian perverts and pigs and white perverts and pigs were protected. So he's got some answers to give. Oh, I didn't see the file. Or what about Savile? Oh, I didn't see the file. Oh, what about the grooming gangs? Oh, I didn't see the file. And you know what he got for that? He got knighted. He was either conspiratorial or he was just plain negligent. And what did he get? Knighted. And who's he just put forward to be knighted? Khan. A guy that did legal work for the Nation of Islam. And not a very nice bunch. Look him up. And a guy that's turned London into an absolute shithole full of knife and gun crime that goes relatively unreported, and a place where you can't walk safely at night. Which again, I personally think has been done to cause civil unrest, to get the natives to reach the end of their tether where imported gang violence is concerned. Happy days. Let me know what your thoughts are on it all. One thing I will say about Tommy Robinson is that he shouldn't be sitting in prison for the amount of time he is for telling a version of the truth that for some reason the judge didn't accept. Now, Tommy Robinson pleaded guilty because facts are facts. He had gone against the judgment. But what the judge didn't take into consideration was the fact that there were so many witnesses on that film. Did the judge watch that film? Independent witnesses, teachers, people in the community who said that what Tommy Robinson had put on film was correct. Now, considering Tommy Robinson has been on about grooming gangs in the Muslim community for years, And everyone said, oh no, no, you're just far right, you're just the new Hitler. Considering he's been found to be right, if I was a judge, at least I'd watch the film. Although judges aren't judges anymore, are they? They're compromised. I actually laugh out loud when I hear calls for an independent inquiry into the grooming gang scandal. The police, who were negligent, or they weren't negligent, were they? They were actually conniving, they were actually supportive of those child rapists, into the Department of Public Prosecutions, into the CPS, into the judiciary. An independent inquiry. Do you remember when there was an independent inquiry, the Chilcot inquiry, into Tony Blair and the Iraq War, where Blair quite blatantly lied his way to helping the United States in a conflict that should never have taken place because it was just regime change. Remember the independent inquiry into that? Well, Tony Blair wasn't sent to The Hague for war crimes to face justice. Oh no, the independent inquiry, which was basically another word for a cover-up, found that at times he was economical with the truth, and that's all an independent inquiry would do. It would cover up for the senior police officers, for the community leaders, there's a term, for the Starmers of this world. It would just cover everything up. A total waste of time. Who appoints the people for these independent inquiries? The same people it'll be investigating. It makes my blood boil. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be interested. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and speak to you soon.